Emma, what do we know who exactly is arming these rebels?
Well, we did have reports that Qatar and the United Arab Emirates had been providing support for them. We also understand the US and the UK are trying to rally support in the Security Council for an interpretation of the Security Council resolution that would allow for the arming of the rebels in spite of the arms embargo that is currently in place against providing arms to Libya in general. The actual wording is that protecting civilians by any means necessary, notwithstanding the paragraph that refers to the arms embargo. The US and the UK believe that that means that the arms embargo will not apply when it comes to the arming of the rebels, but China and Russia on the Security Council, who already, Zain, have started to become very frustrated by how long this has taken. You know, we are over 2 months into NATO airstrikes, and many of those on Security Council had originally abstained because they didn't want to be seen as responsible for a civilian catastrophe in Benghazi, as was the fear at the time if the Security Council resolution didn't pass. Now they're saying that they feel very uncomfortable with the resolution being interpreted to arm one side of what they're seeing as a civil conflict against the other, then.
Nima, you've been in Tripoli for a while now. What is it like for the ordinary person there to function and survive?
Well, as you can appreciate, the nightly air raids are incredibly debilitating for the civilian populace. Just here in the hotel, every night when we start hearing the jets go overhead and when the bombs start to drop, you can hear children. There's such a huge level of tension. You really feel people brace themselves as it starts to get dark here for what might come on the coming evening. But really what we're seeing impacting people the most on the ground is the fact that ships carrying fuel, ships carrying petrol are not being allowed to dock. NATO says, of course, that they believe that this fuel is being used to power army vehicles that are being used in the attacks against civilians, but that is obviously impacting on just people trying to get around. A lot of people we've been speaking to, taxi drivers, normal civilians, telling us that it's taking them sometimes 2-3 days of literally just queuing at petrol stations just to fuel up their cars. So we're starting to see these embargoes, these sanctions really biting here in Tripoli.